go nowhere. Let's create camel ground meat. And with this camel ground meat, I'm going to prepare some camel meatballs or camel kofta. And all you need is some basic ingredients. I have about maybe a teaspoon of black ground pepper, same amount for smoked paprika, same amount for cumin, and I have a little bit of something hot, like ground cayenne red pepper to add some spice to it. I have a couple of garlic teeth, salt. You want to go with fine salt. You don't want sea salt or anything like that. I have some onion, just a little bit. Dill, D-I-L-L, chopped. It's about a tablespoon. I have a tiny bit of oregano, finely chopped. And what you see here are some pine nuts. Because I have 1 pound of ground meat, I decided to put some pine nuts. I put them in water. I have about half a cup. And I have them in water for about 30 minutes. The meat, like any other meat, I have it out for like 20 to 30 minutes. So when it cooks evenly. And I have an egg just in case if I need it, But I think I'm going to mix it up. No different when you make meatballs and stuff. But I'm not using bread or anything like that. I'm going to keep this like it's done in the places that camel kofta is eaten, or camel meatballs. So I drained the water from the pine nuts. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to break them down. I'm not going to make them thin powder like this. No, I just going to break this baby down. So I have everything ready. Now, one thing I wanted to say about this camel here in the United States, this meat in a butcher, local butcher in Virginia, link in the description. If you want to get some or order some, just do what you need to do. I'm sure other places also sell in the United States. This is a typical dish in places like North Africa and part of the Middle East. Even Australia have camel meat and camels, and they do their own dishes there, but I'm going to keep it North African, okay? And in several countries in North Africa that eat camel. Camel is a nutritious meat too, very lean. And it's a normal thing. It's not different like pork or here in the United States, which is typical. People eat it here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start adding things. Let me start, I was going to add the nuts, but let me start with this. Some salt. Some onions. Not a lot, just enough. Let me put some of the dill. Tiny bit of oregano. Some of the salt. Enough for taste. And I'm going to add some of this. I might not need all, but I have enough. Start mixing. And you're going to mix this well. As you do that, and don't worry, I'm going to wash my hands when I'm done. Some minced garlic. And I'm going to do this with 2 teeth. Oh, this smells fantastic. And you're going to mix everything well. Very, very well, okay? You want all the flavors to mix well. Add the onions, add the ingredients, and doing it with a hand. Some people might use some food processor and stuff. I'm going to keep it old school, like if I was in those countries, which I have visited, by the way. I've been in Egypt, many places in the Middle East. I know people from North Africa. Some of the locations, you know. Just going to mix things up. Then you're going to add the egg, which I'm going to add because I want things to stick together. Like when you're doing regular meatballs. And if you need to add a little bit more nuts, you do that. You don't want too much nuts because then it won't stick, you know what I mean? Now it's time to shape this baby. And there are different ways of cooking this. You can make them round meatballs, or you can make them more like a cylinder. If I was making it round, I probably would create a tomato sauce, which is a little bit sweet, the way that it's called for this kind of recipe. See how it looks, this one? Some of them making a little bit more rectangular. So I have a cast iron, doesn't have to be cast iron. I have some vegetable oil, sufficient to fry these babies. And what I'm going to do, carefully so they don't break, I'm going to start moving them here. This is going to take about maybe 4 to 5 minutes to cook. Make sure they're cooked, okay? Make sure that they're not touching, you know, give them a distance because you don't want it to stick together. So I went from the heat to medium high, I reduced it to medium so it cooks internally without burning the outside, although it's going to be a little bit burny looking, but you don't want it to burn, you know what I mean? About 2.5 minutes later, flip them. Carefully. Make sure you have a plate with a paper towel when you start removing them because you want the grease and the fat to drain out, okay? Look at this beauty. Add a little bit of Italian parsley, sprinkle it around.